What's going on, guys? It's your boy Greg back with the Super 6. Man, I've been trying to shoot this video for a while now. As you can see, I'm in the car. So we finally got the car back. Finally. Um, like I said, I've been trying to shoot this video for a while. I've had it back since the latter part of December. So I want to kind of catch you guys up on the story with that. But the weather had been so cold, man, and here in Atlanta, among everywhere else. It had been a pretty brutal winter, so it was hard to get out and shoot a video how I wanted to shoot it. So it was so cold. But glad to be making this video today. It's about 70 degrees today, so it's perfect. So I thought I'd get out, man, and bring you guys up to date. Had you waiting so long, so here it is. So I just want to do a recap of leading up to my last video where Fastlane gave me a call the latter part of the summer. Called me and asked me, say, hey, you got a minute to talk about your car. And I kind of sensed something wasn't quite right the way he said that, because at that time I was expecting to hear, hey, man, we got your car ready. Come pick it up. It was about that time, because they had started not online, but on their website, they had created a page where you can go in and see the status of your car. So my car was just about ready. It was in the finish list. And that was crazy because it wasn't finished. But anyway, so when he called me and said that, hey, you got a minute to talk about your car, I kind of knew something wasn't right. And he said, hey, we're over budget on the car. We're going to need another, $3,800 on top of what I already paid. I paid them almost in full when I signed up for the job, for them to do the job. And it was just puzzling, because I was like, I don't get it, Yeah, we're over budget, and, we just need some more money to finish the car and everything. But I was like, so long story short, I decided not to give them any more money. I told them that I would come pick it up, and that's what I did. Made arrangement to come pick it up. The good thing is that when I went to pick it up, and man, let me tell you, when I got there to pick it up, they had already moved locations during the time that they had the car. So I didn't know where the place was until he called, until I decided to go pick it up. So found out where the place was finally. Went to pick it up. The car it looked in, pretty good shape. But when I got closer, I started noticing some things. It had been, very weathered, because it had been sitting out, because they actually changed shops while they had the car, and the car was sitting out. So because the facility that they were in now wasn't the same facility, and it was less room. So my car had been sitting out like over the last year or so. So I'll show y'all that in just a moment. But I got there, and let me tell you guys, when I say that they were giving my car back to me in pieces, we were putting pieces in the trunk. That's what it was, while I was waiting for the tow truck to come. So I really had to take the high road, as I said before. But anyway, I had the guy, I just kind of felt like it was a blessing, because the guy that ultimately finished the car that I took the car to, was only 8 miles away from where Fastlane was located. And I just considered it a blessing, because nobody else I could find wanted to touch the car or go behind someone else. He was the only guy that was willing to go behind someone else's, mishap. And I just kind of felt it was, it was meant to happen. So got a tow truck. He even arranged me for the tow truck. And tow truck got there. Man, let me tell you, I was putting exhaust pieces, drive shaft pieces in the drive shaft in the trunk, the old drive shaft, because the car didn't have a drive shaft on it. and it was just a mess. It was a mess. The car was weathered, dirty. It was just a mess. I was just ready to get out of there. So so we got the car loaded up, and let me tell you guys, the young brother that decided to do this job is his video is called One Shot Drizzy, One Shot Performance. And man, let me tell you, this brother here, man, he is the real deal. He is the real deal. Got the car to him, unloaded it off, and I want you guys to go and watch his video. He actually did a video on my car. Among other cars, he did a video on my car. The whole process that he went through to get the car back to working order. It's just amazing. So his YouTube page is One Shot Drizzy. So go ahead and watch that. It is amazing. It's amazing. So go ahead and watch that once you finish this video. So got the car to him, and the car needed so many more parts that they had to, basically all they had done was stuck the V8 engine and the transmission into the car, and nothing else was done. I think they did program the PCM for the new 6.4 engine. That's the only thing they did, but it just still needed a host of other work, and all of that was supposed to be done with the price that I paid. And you know, it's just like I really didn't know at the time everything that was involved in doing a V6 to V8 swap. So I was just like, okay, put the motor in, you know, I thought it would be done. But you guys are going to be surprised by how much stuff we still had to do to this car. So I have my little list here of things that we still had to do. We actually had they were supposed to do the rear diff. I actually bought a rear differential, a 309 differential, and the axles for Fastlane to do. So that was in the trunk when I dropped the car off to them back in February of 23. So it had the rear diff, the axles they were supposed to put in, and a JLT cold air intake. All of that was in the car. And it was still in the car when I picked the car up, you know, which is just crazy. The car still needed transmission lines, a battery, a drive shaft, oil change, fuel line and fuel line adapter, an AC compressor because they left the old compressor in, which we couldn't use because the lines were different, a lower radiator hose, radiator assembly, transmission cross member, still needed a belt, new serpentine belt to fit the V8, purge valve, transmission fluid, rear diff fluid, which I had already in the car with the new differential. Still needed coolant, needed an oil change, and most of all, it needed a new exhaust because the old exhaust, they did. Now, I'm surprised that they stayed true to their word with the long tube headers. So the car actually has long tube headers on it. So I was shocked to see those on the car when we were getting it off of the tow truck. So because I looked underneath and these big shiny silver things were under the bottom. So I was shocked that they put those on. So with that, with the new BBK headers, it needed a new exhaust. So that was another thing. So we got, when you guys watch Brandon's video, you will see that, you know, we went through all of that. And then, so once we got the car back, once I actually picked the car up from him, I had to drive it back, which was probably about maybe 25 miles, 25, 30 miles without an exhaust on it. It was so loud, I just really couldn't enjoy my first drive with the new engine in it. So it was just so loud, and you know, I was just trying to get it home. And so picked it up, drove it within about maybe 8 miles of my house. And on a negative note, man, I stopped for gas on the way home because the car was burning so much gas without the exhaust. stopped for gas about 8 miles from the house at a Kroger, and decided to go into the store because my wife had texted me to go in and get a couple of things. So I said, okay, when I get gas, I'll just pull over into a spot and run in. Ran into the store, was in there about maybe 10 or 15 minutes, came back out, went to the car, and someone had already busted out my back window here in the back. They tried to get in this window, but that window was, I don't know, it was tempered. I think all of them are tempered, but they tried to get in that window but couldn't get in. It did have damage on it. And so they somehow busted the back window. And they just got in. Now, I didn't have anything in the car because the car had been in the shop. They just kind of rumbled through some things. I guess they were looking for, I don't know, weapon, money, I don't know. I think it might have been a rockhead or something, but yeah, you can't have nothing, man. I mean, in our neighborhood, not my neighborhood, but you know what I'm saying. So that was quite a pretty bad experience on my first drive. So got the car home. As you can see, I already replaced the windows. So I did that the same week, ordered the windows, put them in myself. It was pretty simple and straightforward to put the new windows in. The back window, I just had to take the door panel off, and that was a little bit more difficult than this one. But anyway, I got them in, got the car home. Like I said, got the windows in, and just went ahead and moved forward. So, but what I want to do in this video, and it's already running long, sorry, is show you guys the engine and what it's doing on the dash. So let's go ahead and look at the engine first. All right, so here's the engine, and I've already done a cold air intake. Now, just so you know, remember I said the JLT intake that I had in the car for them to do was missing. And I did reach out to them to see if they still had it. Fat chance. I never heard back from them after I inquired. They didn't even answer my message. So I had to let that go and just went out and bought one. Now this is a Spectra one that fits the 6.4. It's not a JLT, but it's a nice cold air intake. So I went ahead, and it was a little less expensive than the JLT. So I went ahead and went with this one because some of the other expenses that I had already gone through to get the car back in working order. So, and then I went ahead and got the oil catch can, which I had prior to the car going to the shop, but I just decided to keep that because that probably would have ended up missing. So I kept that, and I said I was just going to put that on myself when I got the car back. I had to order the engine covers. I didn't want the ones that said powered by SRT. I wanted the ones that said 392 Hemi on it. So that looks really nice. I did do, the engine bay was very dirty. I did do a cleaning on it. And I did go ahead because it was throwing a misfire code when I first did a diagnostic on it. So I went ahead and changed all of the coil packs and changed all of the spark plugs on it. So and that code went away, the misfire went away. So obviously something was wrong with one of the packs or one of the spark plugs. So I went ahead and just changed all that. I wanted all new coil packs and all new spark plugs. It did have some cosmetic things on it. Like I had, it had some scratches when it came out of the shop from Fastlane. The bumper is not quite fitting like it's supposed to, so I got to take care of that. And everything else actually looked pretty good. Some of the paint had started to wear on the rocker panels, so that's got to be repainted. And so it's even worse on the other side. So there's a spot there That's going to have to be repainted. Here's an even worse one here. Did have some more scratches on it around, and let me show you guys the hood. Yeah, this is the hood from being left out in the weather, and you can see it has some top coat issues on it, and that's going to need to be repainted. This is going to come off, and I do have some double stripes to go down the full length of the car, so I have all of that. I do have a front splitter that's coming on it. I actually already have. I got to put that on it though. Yeah. Let's see what else. The wheels and everything look to be intact, still in good shape. But yep, I just got to fix the front bumper. So yep. Oh yeah, I did have to get a new coolant reservoir on it, but yeah, that's everything that we had to do to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what it sounds like, how it drives. Like I said, it still needs to be module matched, because some things on the 6.4 that's new to the car, that the car is asking for, that the engine is asking for, the car doesn't have. And so let me turn it on and show you guys what it's doing. All right, so let's go ahead and start it up. All right, so everything works. All right, the instrument cluster is new. So when before the car went into the shop, I changed the instrument cluster to a 392 instrument cluster, because this is the one that has the 180 on the dash. Whoops, turn that down. I already had the 6.4-inch screen with all the performance pages and everything was on it. It's pretty basic until I can get a taser and change some things, but I already had that. I did change out the control center here for the AC and everything else to a 6.4 one. So that was in the car before it went in the shop. So all of that I wanted to be in place before they when they put the 6.4 engine in, so everything will already be in it. But it was throwing some codes, of course, because the modules need to be VIN matched. The BCM, which is the body control module, and the TCM, the transmission control module, they need to be VIN matched in order for things to talk to the car. So it is throwing a code. It did have a tire pressure code on it, so I fixed that, which is all it needed was air in the tire, of course. And the VIN matching should take care of the ABS and the traction control light. The check engine light was showing some. It was showing some exhaust codes. Like I said, the misfire code went away once I changed the spark plugs and the coil packs. So the only thing that is showing now is exhaust code, because the 6.4 is looking for active exhaust and the car doesn't have it, so it's throwing a code. So there's about 4 or 5 of those codes. Speed sensor code and a host of other codes. But regardless of all of those codes, the car is actually running pretty good. It's running like normal, and it sounds really good, man. This is the sound I've always kind of wanted, even though the supercharged V6 was a great performer, just didn't have the sound. So this sounds great. There's nothing like a Hemi sound. I never thought I'd say that. But yeah, the Super 6, man, is now at 392. So the day is finally here. Let's go for a little ride. Let me show you guys what it sounds like and how it's driving. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's see, I put my belt on. All right. I'm also going to have to, once I get the modules program, it actually needs to, say my fuel level is low. I did a lot of driving today. That's another thing, is that the fuel gauge is not registering because I think it still has the V6 fuel pump in it. So that could be one of the reasons why, and it also can be, like I said, the module matching. So if anybody, knows why that's doing that, why it's still registering on full, let me know how I can resolve that. So I actually have to watch the range of the fuel. So it's actually doing a lot better on gas now that I have the exhaust on it. So I did have to take it to the exhaust shop. I went ahead and ordered mid pipes from eBay. I think I got from eBay, and I ordered another full catback exhaust to fit the 6.4. Had that put on, and it rides better, it sounds better, and it affected the fuel a lot better too. So it sounds great. I do have to get the tips put on. I bought some 5-inch tips that I'm gonna have put on, but I'm not in a hurry to do that yet because I want to get the brains of the car fixed first. So let's go ahead and do that and go for a ride. Here, I'm just gonna go around the block because I don't have much gas. I do notice that, and this is a module issue too, I think, that the steering, like after it's been sitting, the steering just kind of pulls a little bit in the beginning. So I think that's a module issue too. But after just a little bit of driving, like once I get out here on the road here and make this right turn, it stops. So just a few little tweaks here and there, but the car feels amazing. It sounds amazing. It feels strong. I know it's going to be even better once I get it tuned. So I'm not going to see a real benefit from the long tube headers until I get it tuned for the headers. So one thing at a time. Since it's been in the shop for 3 years almost, my tag, I have to get my tag not expired. I have to get my tag renewed. And so here in Georgia we have an emissions standard, so I can't pass emissions till I get the check engine light cleared up. So I'm gonna do that. I already have an appointment with I'm gonna go with this place that One Shot Performance recommended, and it's a little drive for me. It's in a place called Warrior. It's about an hour and a half from One Shot Performance's address where I had the car fixed. Man, that downshift, wow. Man, good grief. Man, that sounds amazing. But yeah, so I do have an appointment to get everything taken care of as far as VIN matching and tuning and all of that. So I was going to actually go and get that done tomorrow because I'm off from work, and I was going to actually take it tomorrow, but I had to cancel and reschedule because I had some other things to come up tomorrow, and so I'm going to push it out for another month until I'm off again. And so, you know, I'm just going to have to wait on that. But I like to take it out, you know, once or twice a week and drive it, you know, just to keep the fluids going in it and keep the battery charged in it. So that's really a fun thing to do. But I'm driving my 4Runner as a daily, so I don't want to drive this one. You know, daily with, you know, with the tag and everything being expired. So, but I think it drives great. I know it's going to drive better once it's tuned and everything's working correctly. But I can definitely feel a difference, of course, with the new 6.4. I do have some other things, like some cosmetic things that I want to do to it. I think I mentioned the lip spoiler. I do have some badging, so I'm kind of, you know, on the fence about the badging, because lately, as these cars became more popular, thefts have increased, vandalism and everything have increased. So I'm kind of apprehensive about putting badging and identification on it, you know, for the 392. But I do have all of that, so I'll just have to play that by ear and wait and see. And then I will have to, like I said, got to get the hood repainted and some other cosmetic things. I mean, the car was just so dirty, and it was just, I don't know, man. You guys saw how clean I used to keep this car, and I just don't think that they really took care of it while it was in their possession. And I just had to, you know, for me to actually move forward with this project, I actually had to just take the high road, like I said. And you know, it was hard. It was really hard not to get upset, and because the only thing that was going to be hurting was me. And you know, if you go back and look at my last couple of videos, I talk about that. You know, all the disappointment and things that, you know, we tried to do to rekindle, you know, some of what I paid, and it was just, I just had to let it go, man. So glad to have the car back in one piece. Brandon at One Shot Performance, I mean, go and give this young brother, go to his channel and give this young brother some love, because he did an amazing job when no one else would go behind them. And you know, the funny thing is that when I was talking to the guy at Fastlane, you know, actually admitted, you know, that there was some incompetence going on with the project. And, you know, they just, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, they could have contacted me long before and said, hey man, look, you know, we think this project is just too difficult. You know, we'll give you part of your money back if you come pick up the car. And, you know, I would have just had more respect for them, you know, if they would have just admitted that and just done the right thing. But, you know, I'm just glad it's all over and I've got the car back. Brandon did an amazing job, and I was just so blessed and so grateful to find him. And, you know, he just did an amazing job getting the car back. So that video that he did, please go and watch his channel and watch the video on this car, how he got it back to life. And it's just going to blow your mind. So yeah, I'm going to document everything else going forward. Glad to have my baby back, and you know, I can continue now with my content, and it's going to be great. My poor wife, man, she is just still I mean, feeling some kind of way about what happened, and it links. The bad part about it is it links the car to what happened. Is just for her seeing the car, it just kind of rekindles, you know, the bad experience, you know, which I understand, which I totally understand, and she just, don't want to even get in the car yet, take a ride, but she will. And, you know, which I understand. I understand. So, you know, it is what it is. Sounds amazing, man. Yeah. So, yeah, man, the Super 6, I'm going to have to change my name to Super 6 392. Yep, Super 6 is now 392. Glad you guys stuck with me through the process. It was a painful process, and I learned a lot. The biggest thing is never to pay anyone up front to have a job done, and make sure everything that they're gonna do is already agreed upon. And valuable lesson, man. Valuable lesson. You know, they took a lot of money from me, and I'm just looking to move forward and go on. All right, man. This video has already run way too long. It was a lot. I could have actually done it in 2 parts, but so I'm gonna let you guys go. I will definitely keep you guys up to date on the next thing that's gonna happen. I think about my next video will be during the tuning process. So hopefully I can document some of that. Anything else comes up, I'll be sure to make a video on it. All right, fellas, thank you guys so much for being patient and sticking with me. Thank you for all the subscriptions and all the likes. Go and check out One Shot Performance, One Shot Drizzy's YouTube channel. Show that brother some love, because he is what got me here where we are now. All right, fellas, take care, and I'll talk to you later.